Greetings, fellow material objects. Tiki here,
And Jacob Wile, too.
and welcome to another episode of Tiki's Universe. It's the all-encompassing show where we talk about all things animation, including Steven Universe, Milo Murphy's Law, a bunch of stuff coming up next year that we can't wait for, but also Star vs. Forces of Evil, which is winding down its winter season, I guess. The winter finale is going to be next week, so until then, Jacob, this is basically our penultimate episode. We have Naysaya. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yep, you're saying it correctly.
Naysaya. All right.
It's that little pimple thing we see down here.
It sounds so much like a Hayao Miyazaki character, like Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind or something like that. I don't know.
Kinda.
So yeah, this is an episode that basically it's actually quite a bit of character development on Marco's part because it's a catharsis for his insecurities, right?
Yeah, Marco's always been shown to be a kind of an insecure, kind of laid-back kind of guy. I mean, this is kind of to get him out of that, almost.
So what I like about this episode is it does a few things really right. Like I said, the big thing is the character development on Marco's end. I really like the moment where Marco really has to come to terms to all his insecurities, and he's talking about him, like with the pimple plot device, which is ridiculous, but whatever, this show deals in ridiculous plot devices to get to good character stuff. But that moment with Jackie Lynn where he's just confessing everything about, I don't know, I just think that's kind of a good kind of page-turning moment for him, no pun intended, from the last episode.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely the intention to like expose some of his deeper, most insecurities. Apparently that's everything he is insecure about.
At least right in that moment, I think that's the catch.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. What do you think about the pimple himself? Marco 2, I guess is his name, or Little Marco, or Baby Marco. What did they call him?
Marco Jr.
Marco Jr. Wow, I got none of those guesses right.
But his official name is Naysaya.
Naysaya, right.
He's a spell from Tom.
Yeah, and once again, Jacob, I think one of the good things about this episode is how it's kind of playing to the supporting characters. I really like Jaina's role in this episode, where she's just kind of like rolling her eyes at Marco the whole time and being like, yeah, you're kind of an idiot, but hey, things don't work out, and I like that about Jaina because I felt like she was way too pushy and way too possessive in the first season, and I feel like the writers made a good call, giving her that friendship with Star and making her someone Star can bounce off of, because now I feel like Jaina is a lot more well-rounded of a character, and this episode kind of, is an example of that. But yeah, Jacob, let's talk about Tom.
Yeah. Yes, the Naysaya was a curse placed on him by Tom. So apparently around Blood Moon Ball.
Yeah, right around that time, sure.
So that
You haven't asked out a girl since the Blood Moon Ball? Man, that's way more embarrassing than the thing on your neck.
which was a word that he would ask out Star, and that thing would have pop up.
Right. I'm sorry, I'm really turning around on Tom. I just love his attempts at being chummy with Marco.
Yeah, well, I mean, they still hate each other, remember?
Yeah, but he's trying though. He's trying. I know he's just like, oh, Marco, I'm really sorry about that, bro. That was before we started hanging out and whatever.
Yeah, before they started getting to know each other.
Right. So I like how the scene with Tom is not really antagonistic at all. Tom is kind of genuinely trying to give Marco some advice here, and then Tom's just
Tom tells him how to get rid of it. Like, you have to face your insecurities, basically.
Right. And how much insecurity do you have, Marco? Oh boy.
Yes. Yeah, Tom could have said, I'm not telling you how to get rid of that thing. I mean, he could have easily told him. Screw you! I'm not going to tell you how to get rid of that thing. It's your problem.
Right.
But I do like that point you made. He is being friendly and told him what to do.
Sure, sure. Yeah, and you're right. He's not absolutely like jumping over backwards to be his friend or anything, but pleasantries, Jacob. Pleasantries. They go a long way.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yep, exactly. Got to break bread somehow. Anyways, so let's see. So we see Jaina actually has a book on paranormal phenomena that kind of reveals the origins of Naysaya.
And for some reason, it's in Marco's locker.
Because she got the combination out of his diary. No big.
Yeah.
She just keeps a. And, this is the thing I like, because I feel like this is something that season 1 Jaina would have done, but they would have made like a really they would have gone really over the top with the delivery of the joke. And I think just the fact that Jane is so casual about it honestly makes it a lot funnier.
Yeah.
Like she's just like, yeah, whatever. I have a secret stash of witchcraft books in your locker. What of it?
Yep, whatever. Typical stuff.
Okay.
But this thing actually causes quite a bit of problems for Marco, including we're making him write the wrong note and giving it to Jackie.
Right.
And making this nice guy punch him.
That guy was just so nice, right? He's just
man, don't make me do this.
Oh, it's not a big deal, man. It's just a material possession. Really, yeah. Man, it's not a please, bro, don't make me do this. I don't want to do this, man. Seriously, that jock is like the nicest freaking jock I've ever seen.
It's a nice break from stereotypes.
Exactly. Right.
And wait, yeah, because Marco made him punch him.
Oh God.
And he can actually see he's grabbing onto him and pulled it to him.
Although there's something quite fascinating about Marco's character when it's just and I can kind of speak to this with depression myself. It's when I have a lot of anxiety and then I do something stupid like that, I'm almost kind of convinced oh, that person must just think so horribly of me, when in reality most people I come across where I do something embarrassing in front of, it's more kind of the reaction this guy's giving out. I mean, just oh, it's no big deal, bro.
we don't care. I mean, having Asperger's myself, I kind of think that all the time. Oh no, that complete stranger's looking at me. What do I do?
Right. And in reality, they're just yeah, whatever.
I mean, they look at me. They more look at me weird for thinking they're acting weird.
Yeah, we're just chilling. We're just chilling. Anyways, so,
I digress. But then Naysaya turns out causing a lot more problems. After revealing what happened, Marco gets a bit over dramatic with I'm not going to school anymore,
mm-hmm.
Which is kind of a bit of a stretch.
And then we have to talk about the cereal gag.
I've never eaten it's the fact that Naysaya never got what he wanted because nobody ever asked him what he wanted before.
I like how he's touched by that, but you do know that at least I'm assuming that this is a stylistic callback to the Glossric pudding thing.
I know. I believe
it's a running thing that Marco has to feed magical creatures just very mundane food in order to get help from them. You know what I mean?
At least he didn't At least he wasn't scrape the side.
Oh God.
But no, he was really touched by I've never eaten cereal before.
And that's one cool thing about Marco Jr. is that they do a really good job of making this thing that it's only a few hours old, so it literally doesn't know anything about anything, and they do
other than Marco's insecurities.
Right, exactly.
Its life is Marco's insecurities.
It's he's about to eat the cereal and then he's just will it hurt?
Well, then Marco does decide to go to school eventually.
Yeah. And
I think Star convinced him to do that pretty much after hearing what she said. Actually, no, never mind. Sketch that.
And Naysaya does not keep up his end of the bargain as Marco's trying to ask Jackie out once again, covering Naysaya up with a scarf. He goes back on his word, and then Marco's just dude, you didn't keep your promise. What's the promise? I love how he just genuinely doesn't know. It makes sense that he wouldn't know.
Marco really should have gone over the ground rules with him.
I know. And Jacob, I kind of jumped the gun with this scene a little bit, but I do think this scene is kind of the highlight of the episode. Marco just blurting out all his insecurities in front of Jackie, getting them all out in the open. It's a big kind of point of catharsis for his character, I feel like.
I agree.
So, okay, and then
it works out. He actually does get to go out with her.
Yeah, he's going with a bunch of friends to a movie, so that's nice. I like how excited Star is for him. That's just, it's great. She's a good friend, but
yeah, she's a good, yeah.
And then let's see. So, but of course, Naysaya, he wants to stick around because I've never gone to the movies before. Yeah. You there?
Well, what was he say? Sorry, I got a message.
Oh, Naysaya is just like saying, like, I've never gone to the movies before.
It's like you really have to go.
Yeah, it's like when they're in the movie and then Jackie Lynn is kind of curling up to Marco after being scared. He's just like, oh, Marco's getting very nervous. Okay. So.
Yeah.
I would say that's about it. Jacob, final thoughts on Naysaya?
Very interesting episode. Got like Marco. I think Marco had a bit of personal growth, like being able to admit his insecurities, which is a good thing. Although I'm not sure how I feel about the whole Jackie thing, but we'll see how that goes.
Well, the Jackie thing is going to have some interesting developments coming up, and we'll talk about that in just a minute from what we know of the episode from next week. But
yeah, yeah,
I like this episode a lot. I don't like it quite as much as the Glossaric episode, just because Glossaric is amazing, and
basically just Glossaric.
I mean, really, that's what it comes down to. Glossaric is all over the last episode, and he's not in this one. So the last episode is better because Glossaric. Because Glossaric. But, no, this episode isn't bad either. It's really good. It's kind of like John Hughes, where just kind of dealing with teenage drama for the most part. Like, oh, who's gonna ask who to the dance and all that. But it does it in a very kind of playful, ribbing way with the insecurities and everything. So it's a fun episode. It's probably not like near the top of my list in terms of season 2 episodes, but I still like it quite a bit.
Yep.
All right, Jacob. So I guess let's tease out the winter finale, which has an amazing title.
Probably has an even better title than Spider with a Top Hat.
Hopefully, it won't be as disappointing as Spider with the Top Hat was.
Next week's episode, Bon Bon the Birthday Clown.
Oh my god, I can't wait!
From the looks of this, from the trailer, that's actually supposed to be like a pretty dark episode. It looks like.
Hold on, let me. I can actually. So, what is the synopsis of Bon Bon the Birthday Clown, Jacob?
So, Star has second thoughts about attending a dead clown seance, and Jackie asks Margo to go to the school dance with her.
Yeah, that's the key thing. Jackie asking Marco to go to the school dance, so that's definitely a development. But
the strange thing is, though, the thing is, what happened with Bon Bon? Bon Bon died in an accident many years ago. It actually not actually shows what happened, but he was at a party, something happened, and he died right there, it seems like.
But let's just take a look at this great promotional image, though. It's like, of course, you got Glossaric, and that makes me excited, the fact that he's in on this whole thing.
So is Jana.
Yeah, I like that Jana's kind of getting more to do, and it makes sense that she'd be the one that'd be interested in kind of exorcism or spirituality, whatever, what's the word?
Paranormal?
Yeah, paranormal, but the seance,
seance.
She'd be the one to put that on. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart there.
Yeah, but It seems after seeing Jackie and Marco together, but after seeing Marco in a tuxedo, by the way,
Right.
and like seeing them walk off together, she seems to have second thoughts about this thing.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Which kind of goes weird, which is kind of weird because in this episode she was very supportive of it.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I think that they're playing with a lot of the same characteristics with Jaina from season 1. They're just doing it in a way less.
I'm talking about Star.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
like I said, because like the Star was very supportive of the whole thing, but now she seems like she's kind of upset about it.
Well, it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like that's a real kind of dynamic that would go on there. It's like once your friend is actually with the person they want to be with, then it's essentially a case of borrowed time with that friend at that point. But
maybe she's just more afraid of losing Marco or something. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, you should check out the official poster art for this episode. I mean, it gives a lot. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be.
I can actually pull up the art if you want.
Go ahead, really quick.
It's actually posted on Darren Neffsey's blog.
Okay.
Hold on a second. There it is. I haven't shared it yet, so I'm sorry.
No, don't worry about it. Take your time.
Okay, I'll wait for that share and onto that.
Okay, let's take a look at this. So, oh man, that's a great poster. It really is. So
the thing is, it doesn't give any hints as to what the clown actually has to do with the episode.
Yeah, you've definitely got like the birthday candles. I like how Marco and Jackie are kind of like the they have a resemblance to the bride and groom on top of the wedding cake, which is interesting.
And Star up there looking very upset.
Yeah. I like, again, Jacob, I really do think it comes down to the fact that Star doesn't want to lose Marco as a friend, and she doesn't want to lose the time that she has with him. So I think that's what it's going to come down to. I'd actually be surprised if it was like a romantic love triangle or anything like that. I don't think the show would go to that level. Maybe I'm wrong, but
No, it could create an interesting conflict or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Anyways, so
I ship hard though.
But yeah, just the fact that Jackie Lynn is asking Marco to this dance, that's an interesting little shift in their development there. She's getting more comfortable around him. So overall, it's interesting that these characters are actually growing and developing.
And remember, it's the first 2-parter episode of this season.
Sure, which is very exciting. Okay,
the title like Bon Bon the Birthday Clown is bound to be interesting.
Yeah,
well, then again, we did say the same thing about Spider with the Top Hat.
Yeah, I'd say it's fair to say this is going to be a better episode than Spider with the Top Hat. I'd hope so.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us, folks, and until next time, we will be back with the winter finale of Star vs. Forces of Evil. But until then, just remember to screw up the intro. Weird and wild something. Yeah.
Gonna get a little weird, gonna get a little wild.
Yeah.
And this is the outro, not the intro.
Thanks, Jacob. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
Tiki doesn't know what he's doing as a podcast host. Oh, Tiki's nervous that he just messed up the outro.